Hey everybody, it's Norm from Tested here at Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con 2018. And here we're finding a new collectibles company, at least new to the United States, XM. Now, Brian, you're one of the founders of this company.
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys existed. Where have you guys been this whole time?
So we've always been based in Singapore, which is a really small country in the world, and based in Southeast Asia. But only this year we decided to come out of Singapore, out of Asia, to go to the international market because we've just been awarded the international license from Warner Brothers.
So you have the license now to sell these amazing sculptures and collectibles in the States, but it's the design that really caught my eye. This is a Batman that, unlike anything I've seen in the comic books or movies, it's a Shogun Batman. Tell me about this design.
Right, so it started off, it was a, the market currently has a lot of Batman statues.
Yes.
So Warner Brothers said to us, hey, why don't you guys come up with something creative? Something that's not from the movies, the video games, or the comics. And we say, well, let's brainstorm for something new. So we sat down together with a team of creative people and decided we'll look into the different cultures, different time periods. And one of the final decision was create a series based on the samurai kind of cyber neo-Tokyo era. So that gives us a lot of creativity when it comes to designing things from traditional costumes to steampunk to technology, which is why you will see that it has a little bit element of a traditional costume, but it has some kind of advanced technology embedded.
A little bit of cyberpunk.
Yeah, a little bit of cyber inside. So it creates a very unique take to it, and I think that's what Batman is, right?
Yeah.
You know, traditional martial artist, but he has all his cool gadgets. Yeah,
yes.
So this is what came up with.
And it's not just this Batman, but you have a whole line of from the Batman DC universe.
We have a whole line
in this samurai cyberpunk world.
Yeah.
Now tell me about the design of this. So you have a team of artists who draw this up, but is it then digitally modeled and prototyped and then sculpted on?
No problem. So we have majority of our stuff are done digitally, and once it's printed out, we have traditional hand sculpt kind of fine tune and add details in it. But we also have some projects which is fully traditionally sculpted. But most of our products, I would say 95% are majority done in digital sculpt. So that's one thing about most of our products and design is that we start right from the scratch, from the ground up. Every single nut, screw, bolts and wire, everything is designed from scratch. So there's a lot of details in it. You can see that we use mixed media where it makes sense for us to, like the reins, or even if you go close to the Batman side pouch, you can see a batarang, but with a real string on it. Yeah. And if you look really closely, you can see the intricate details and carvings on the swords and the hilts, even on the armor. Yeah.
Okay, Brian, so you have two versions of the sculpture here.
Yeah.
How many figures are on this thing?
Total 12 characters are in this diorama. So including Batman, there's 11 villains and 1 Batman. So a little bit kind of history about this piece, right? So we got in touch with David Finch. We're huge fans of his work, and we told him, hey, can you come up with something crazy, a crazy concept that you think is impossible to manufacture? And he says, all right, challenge accepted. So he came up with the concept, and we look at it, we scratch our head and say, we'll make it happen. So this is the end result, right? Now, what is interesting is that it's not a typical statue. This is we title it the sanity piece. Because if you look at it, it starts off with all the more monstrous creatures, and then it goes on to the more humanoid kind of villains he has. The story and the premise is that Batman doesn't have any superpowers, but his greatest ability is his mind. Because everybody's trying to drive him mad and insane. But despite all that, he's always remained determined, vigilant, and focused. And that's why this is a tribute to Batman. Everyone's trying to drive him insane, but he is holding strong. So this is why we call it the sanity piece.
I love the thoughtfulness you've put into the design here. And it looks like a complicated piece to put together. So when this ships, or the collector is slotting in the figures?
Yeah, it's going to be at least split into like maybe 10 different separate pieces so you can form it together. So the engineering is going to be really, really crazy. How we're going to pack it, make sure there's no breakages, it's all part of the XM directions,
And I like that it's two different takes as well. Why did you do this marble take?
All right, so there are two different kind of concepts, right? For people who want it more closer to the actual concept, this is what we call the nightmare smoke version. So this is kind of nightmarish, smoky effect.
Got it.
So they have the different paint and make them look more like a nightmare. And they're kind of haunting his mind, but he's like, come at me, man, I'm Batman.
Yes.
That one is more of a comic kind of accuracy. People want to see all the individual details in the comic characters. So this has a kind of a smooth marble finish, but that has a lot more, I guess, a little bit more details and textures and colors.
This is gorgeous. It looks like a comic book poster or a cover
Yeah, it
come
looks
to
like
life.
it's a montage and everything. Yeah.
This is beautiful. Brian, thank you so much for chatting with me. Can't wait to see these hit collectors in the States.
It's a pleasure.
And it's wonderful to see you at a show at like New York Comic Con.
Thank you for coming. Enjoy the show.